Good afternoon. My name is Kate Murphy. I'm the Senior Child Welfare Associate at Texans Care for Children, and I am testifying against House Bill 3859. I want to start out by thanking Representative Frank for what he's trying to do with this bill. I really truly believe that Representative Frank is trying to include more homes and trying to include as many people to participate in this as possible. I do not believe that this bill effectuates that intent. First, I'd like to clarify something. In my reading of the bill, this bill creates a right for providers to sue the state. It does not prevent providers from being sued. Second, all of the lawsuits that I'm currently familiar with that providers have faced on this area of religious liberty, on this conscious rights issue, have been in federal court, not state court. So they will still be able to be sued in federal court regardless of whether this legislation passes. I think there are some important protections included in this bill that are not included in some of the other similar bills that have been filed on this subject. There's one area that I really think needs additional protection and additional clarification, and that is on the issue of whether SSCCs are excluded. The author definitely intended to exclude SSCCs, but I believe given a liberal construction of the bill, a court could interpret, or a lawyer could interpret this to mean that the SSCC could potentially sue the state for violating its conscience rights. And that is not acceptable. It's particularly not acceptable as we move toward a system where more and more private providers will be having the primary responsibility for foster and adoptive services in their respective regions. We echo the concerns that many have raised about this bill potentially being construed by a court or a judge or an attorney to hurt the rights of children. It's very broad language. I think we need to make sure that in the construction section we include language that specifies exactly which rights of children should be protected and which rights this bill cannot be meant to impugn. So I'm open to questions.
Members, yes, go ahead.
Yes, Ms. Murphy, thank you for being here. You've mentioned a couple of different areas in which you believe, I guess, the bill could be tightened up a little bit to address some concerns, which, quite frankly, I don't think we're all disputing. Have you addressed those with Representative Frank? Have you spoken with his office? Have you been working on the language? I know they've been open to it. Just
yes, sir.
Okay. And what has come of that? Are you still talking to them about these issues?
Yes. I spoke with their office yesterday, in fact, and emailed with them this morning.
Okay.
On the SSCC issue, Ledge Council believes that the language that is in there is sufficient. I disagree.
Okay.
I think because of the direction the state is moving in terms of privatization, we need to be extra clear in statute that we intend to exclude SSCCs, and I think that's very important. I don't want there to be any room for error in that. On the issue of including best interests of the child staying paramount, I believe you've already heard from Representative Frank that that's their goal, and they have been open to discussions about making sure that children's rights are protected.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, Representative Rodriguez.
I don't know if you have the bill in front of you or not. But
I do not.
It's okay. There's the section that says this chapter may not be construed to allow a child welfare service provider to decline basically the non-discrimination clause. Mm-hmm. Would it help the bill, in your view, if we added religion, sexual orientation, and several other things? Would that help this bill? Or
absolutely. And if you turn to the last page of my testimony, I listed out what I think should be included under that provision.
Great. And I know that there's a foster kids Bill of Rights that I think CPS kind of has internally.
Yes.
I'm wondering if you get some of that language and put that in this bill, do you think that would make this a better bill? Thank you.
Now, does your group provide foster service?
We do not provide foster services. We advocate for a myriad of different children's issues, ranging from health care to mental health to juvenile justice issues. I focus on our child welfare issues.
Well, let's hope we do something about this issue, because we got kids that are suffering right now.
I totally agree.